unreservedly. What we are saying is that to the extent that at this point you are rendering an apology, the matter dies and we put the matter to a peaceful rest. It doesn't travel beyond this table. However, in view of the fact that the very apology is laced with some conditions, we want to give you an opportunity again to then clarify. Because for me, if you maintain the position that, look, you were acting as a whistleblower and that you acted based on what you heard and you had reason to rely on it, we are both counsels. Reliance, was it reasonable to rely on it? In relying on a fact, would you end up hurting somebody's interest? There is ability tests in law of torts that every student knows. At what point do you rely on a matter? No, Chair, let me finish with respect. At what point do you rely on it? The whistleblower law that you refer to, including your right therein, at what point do you invoke those rights? So I am just drawing your attention to all these matters to then invite you back to the earlier point. That are you saying that I am sorry, I shouldn't have posted this, let's end it here? Or you are now saying that you are a whistleblower, you've heard, and that as part of your democratic right, you have to. You, as a former chief of staff, knows all too well the effect of some of these statements on the reputation of the country and its institutions. You've been in government, you've been part of the national security architecture of this country, and you can tell the effect of some of these things on the very democracy that your client says he's exercising his right under. I would want to ask, based on your response to me as a final response, I would then be able to confer with Chairman, and then we know what to do. Are we accepting an absolute apology, unconditional apology, to put this matter to a peaceful rest? Is that where we are, Council? So that we know.
4 days after, he hasn't issued a disclaimer to this. He comes here to tell us that, oh, he doesn't know about it. Can this person be trusted? Mr. Chairman, if indeed is the case that NDC members have taken monies from President Mohammed's appointees, let them defend it. If it's the case that you, Mr. Speaker, with all your reputation, and you chair the appointment, the Privileges Committee, you are being accused to the extent that if nominees appear before us, you put it to them. Ask them. Yesterday you asked Honorable Omane Boama, you asked Honorable Ajekum, you asked Honorable Kennedy whether they've spoken to you, whether you've taken monies from them, whether members of the committee have approached them for anything, and they denied. How fake and dishonest will be such a person who claims did not know the origins of this, and after over 96 hours couldn't have issued a disclaimer to what he purports or not to have known anything about, Mr. Chairman. It's very, very sad and disgraceful for some of us to even pretend not to know the origins of this and to go and cover him up. I'm surprised.
We issue disclaimers.
Mr. Chairman.
Wants to make an apology. Well, this apology is coming on the back of our invitation to you. And I put it to you that if we had not invited you, you would not have come out to apologize through your counsel. That will be my introductory remarks. Now, I want you to also appreciate, Mr. Fomo, I want you to appreciate. Mr. Chair, can I continue? When my colleague was speaking, we listened to him in silence. Yes, I want you to appreciate that this is an arm of government. Parliament is an arm of government. And you often go on social media to make all manner of comments. So at what point did you realize that a particular post was not attributable to you, and yet you stayed until you got an invitation from Parliament before you responded? Even after the invitation, you still went on and made further posts. Even after the invitation, you went on to make further posts. I am putting it to you that you have disrespected an arm of government. Your apology is an afterthought. You have no evidence of the allegation you threw to Parliament and the committee, and you are just on a frolic of your own, just to disrespect Parliament and thought that nobody was going to do anything to you. You should be bold. As bold as you were when you were putting out the statement, you should be bold to defend your statement today, not to come here and give us lame apology. Be bold and defend what you put out. As a man, that is what you should be doing.
Well, honorable members, comment. Yeah. So I give the floor to honorable.
We're instructed rather late in the day yesterday, because apparently this document itself, or the process, was served on the 28th. That's yesterday. We had wanted to state our case in writing for the records, but it looks like the agency of the matter requires that we make some response immediately. Mr. Chairman, it is obvious, Honorable Chairman, it is obvious that the witness at the bar has been called in to explain or to produce evidence with regard to two statements allegedly posted on social media. Two of them, the first one is found in the first paragraph of the invitation letter. The second is in the second paragraph of the invitation letter. As I said, we would have loved to have responded formally for the records. But owing to the fact that this is a very busy committee, would make some remarks and hope brings this matter to a close, depending upon the decision of this honorable committee. But we want to draw our attention to the fact that at the bar here, next to me is Mr. Vomao, an organizer of Democracy Hub and a strong supporter of the democratic process. He served some time in police cells, in prisons, and generally, we believe that he's a valiant warrior for democracy. Please. Now, we'll go straight to the second, particularly to the second statement allegedly posted by him on our site. It's fake. Some preliminary investigation has shown that this statement appeared on, do you have it? Well, I'm just quoting, what is it? Yeah, there's a document, there's a post that has a title, without being partisan, just quoting, it's a MPP Projects Bureau. We can forward where the post appears. That's we had to search before we got there. I'm not saying that that's any partisan with any partisan interest, but I will just factually where it appeared.
Brought it to the fore that particular law, the Whistleblowers Act, laid down a procedure for a whistleblower to follow. and it is definitely not social media, because action taken at social media has its own implication, and somebody who really wants to act as a whistleblower has a procedure to follow in blowing the whistle for a necessary action to be taken. So I thought the issue relating to being a whistleblower has settled by that statement made by the chair. So I do not want a situation where issues relating to a right under the Whistleblowers Act will then again be a subject matter of discussion. So if he is here to render unqualified apology, then we'll give him the opportunity so to do, so that we can bring this issue to an end.
To speak, but I'm here representing my client, and it's my duty and obligation to ensure that he doesn't run into any challenges which is not entitled to be pushed into. If we want to, what we want to do is to ensure that we don't end up making statements which will appear to incriminate us and violate our right to self-incrimination. I will, in a moment, allow my client to make a response, but our point is that, yes, we made that statement, but we are saying that it was not intended.
Honorable Chief of Staff, are you doubting the integrity of this committee?
No, I don't know where.
So that is why we are giving you our words.
You're very well.
That, why? You have the floor.
Honorable Chairman and members of the Appointments Committee, I am grateful for the opportunity to appear before you to address concerns regarding recent posts on social media and subsequent misreporting or other ones that have been generated which has caused apprehension within the distinguished House. I want to begin by reiterating my utmost respect for the committee and its constitutional role and the job or task it has to vet persons to high office in this country. Yesterday, I watched the proceedings and was eagerly looking forward to the vetting of Dr. Manibuama, a man of enormous integrity and respect. I want to extend my apologies to him that his vetting process became the subject of, in some respects, overshadowed by conversations about an alleged post. I'm grateful that the committee in its wisdom has invited me and, in fact, also allowed the vetting to continue, which allowed Dr. Manibuama to show his grit and integrity. Mr. Chairman, yesterday, the second Deputy Minority Whip and Member of Parliament for Weja, Bawe, the Honorable Jerry Ahmed Shaib, read a statement which is being referred to as the second statement, which was repeatedly attributed to me. As has been said categorically, those statements were not mine. At no point did I accuse the chair of this committee or members of the NDC for having asked for or to be given money or to submit themselves to oral. It is in fact on record that I've praised the chair of this committee for his leadership of the committee during the ministerial vettings. And these were my comments, sir. May God grant us all the serenity and maturity of Honorable Ahiafo Bernard, for in the face of grave immaturity and tantrums, he retains the dignity, his dignity. To those of you who say he's weak for refusing to engage, I think that he has shown that strength is not loud, it is patient and deliberate. Mr. Chairman, I categorically disassociate myself from the comments attributed to me, I mean from subsequent remarks that have been made by others that I was accusing certain members of this committee for corruption. The misinformation, as I said, was appeared on a Facebook post under one NPP Projects Bureau. In fact, there's evidence that 4 days ago when the post appeared, I commented on it as being fake. The same post found its way into platforms of various lawyers, and repeatedly I disassociated myself from those comments and said that they were fake. We're happy to provide the committee with evidence of same. Unfortunately, I must also address the claim that it is a notorious fact that he's a member of the NDC. In fact, I must say that the victory of the NDC, now everybody says they are NDC members. But this is completely untrue. I have not been a member of the NDC in the past, and it is my hope that my ideology, which has always been stated, I've always voted consistently for the CPP, and I will continue to do so. Mr. Chair,
government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, good morning. Thank you very much for tuning in to Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Aldo Moro. It's a pleasure having you join us this morning. We thank God for keeping us alive and making us to witness this day. Today is a Thursday edition of Good Morning Ghana. We'll go straight ahead and look at what the newspapers are reporting this morning. So I'll start with the Daily Graphic. The Daily Graphic this morning is reporting that 2025 Africa Prosperity Dialogue open today. Free SHS benefits 3.9, not 5.1 million. Minister, and it comes to the picture of the Honorable Minister for Education, Honorable Haruna Idrisu. There's debt restructuring. Ghana gains $2.8 billion. Roads Ministry audits debts owed contractors. Minister of Works designates outlines plans to develop sectors. The Ghanaian Times. Angela lists assets role in BCM leadership. President returns home from a 3-nation visit. Ghana Official Creditors Committee seal pact. Enjoys 2.8 billion debt relief. Baka Vomawo renders unreserved apology to Appointments Committee. Some will say unreserved apology. But anyway, unreserved apology to Appointments Committee. There's also the New Crusading Guide. Baka Vomawo apologizes to Appointments Committee over bribery claims. Ghana secures $2.8 billion debt relief after signing MOU with Official Creditor Committee. Ambassador Aku Alomatu Osei Ajima elected chair of IAEA Board of Governors. Minority demands severe sanctions against MFR Hardcastle. GIPC welcomes new CEO, Dr. Benis Makafui Brimpong. Daily Post, Mahama, 29 other heads of state pledge to expand electricity access. Ambulance case, AG discontinues case against Ato Forcing and Richard Jakba. And then there's roads improvements to be prioritized this year. Highways Minister. We'll look at some other newspapers. The Daily Post. Yes, well, I've looked at the Daily Post already. The Metro Lens newspaper. 235 Men's Gold members dead. Customers urge President Mahama for bailout amidst ongoing trials. Terror-free Ghana, our priority. Omane Boama. $2.8 billion debt relief for Ghana as official creditors sign MOU. The Daily Searchlight. MFR Hardcastle's mouth walks NDC into first crisis. BUA goes through over minority knives. Baka Vomawo crumbles, apologizes. Prison service surgical surgical outreach performs 61 life-changing surgeries in 10 prisons nationwide. and the Business and Financial Times. Professor Alabi appointed Ghana Commercial Bank Board Chairman. Court judgment debts. Analyst urges government as fiscal discipline efforts intensify. Government engages 60 banks to finalize 77% of debt restructuring. Integration of 24-hour economy 1D, 1F policies holds promise for stock market. And a strategic leap embracing BRICS for economic transformation. IEA wants capex at 10% of GDP in medium term. That's it for the big stories on the front pages of the newspapers. We'll take a short break. When we come back, I will be introducing my guests. Stay with us.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN.
Paying for your Showmax is easy. Just choose your preferred payment method from these easy and convenient options: MTN Momo, Visa or MasterCard, Showmax vouchers at DSTV or GoTV sales agents, or use a promo code. Enter your payment details and hit submit. Showmax. Pay easy, stream easy.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Look around. So home also need a makeover. Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashphone store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashphone, feel it, know it.
Ama, Nansemi Jeno Wobin and Koye Crow. Ama my boom, Sekuntumra Akija.
Nansemi, who sent me no passing macra. Ama me pulling me into Quampo. Oh, you right. And you move home. Give us JC lecture and any capsules. Ah, you num boom. And what's some Namokana? A boy in ma and a memina. Nema ba ye obesima. Na bear must why ye bemasima. Ya, with the boy, I'm a neck giant sour the shelly bottom. No, when you yan and into sessing you or you chop one. Give us GC mixture and a castle. Achesa.
A painful battle, one more menu for one and Quada when you feel to me. Achesa.
Welcome to the Alisa brunch, your special Sunday treat. Good food, great and relaxing ambience, and excellent service. Come to your second home every Sunday. The Alisa Sunday brunch.
All right, welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us on Good Morning Ghana. So we'll go straight ahead and look at the big stories in the newspapers, and then I'll also let you in on my guest for today. Today I have Mr. Edem Agbana, who is the Member of Parliament for Ketu North constituency. He's a former Deputy National Youth Organizer, a former NUCS President. He's a first-timer in Parliament. It will be interesting for him to share his experiences when I introduce him. Adam, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning Ghana. Good to see you.
Well, Moro, good morning, and thank you for having me. Let me say good morning to all our cherished viewers across the world, especially to the good people of Ketu North.
Right.
And let me use your platform to also say a big thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday yesterday. And
yesterday was
yesterday
was your birthday.
Yes, yesterday was my birthday, and
you didn't tell Annie. If you had told Annie, would have celebrated you small.
Maybe I'm even surprised that Annie missed it.
Know,
yes, I'll drag her before the Privileges Committee. Annie must answer some questions on why she forgot my birthday. Yes.
She doesn't joke with her friends, and so I'm sure if she knew about it, she definitely would have.
Yes. But last year, Annie wished me happy birthday.
Last year?
Yes.
She wished you a happy birthday.
Yeah, maybe she's too busy.
No, this one, I can tell that it genuinely may have escaped her.
Well,
it genuinely may have escaped her.
You're holding breath for her. So yesterday was a beautiful day. You know, I shared the same birthday with Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. So
yes.
I spent some time with him yesterday.
Okay.
And with some of his friends. And I just want to thank him and his friends. It was a beautiful experience, you know, when you have the opportunity to spend quality time with very accomplished yet humble men. I mean, it's amazing. You learn a lot within a short time. And so let me extend my belated birthday wishes to him as well, and to everyone who celebrated their birthday yesterday. Yeah.
See, but what really was your motivation for wanting to spend time with him yesterday? I mean, I'm sure that your family and relatives would have wanted a bit of your time because tomorrow was your big day. But you decided to spend that with your friend and big brother.
So this is what I did. Early morning, I went to the Labaoleshi Presby GSS to share some time with the students because that's where that's my junior high school.
Oh, okay.
And so I spent time. Wednesdays are reserved for worship, and so I went to worship with them and made a few donations to the students. Some books and jerseys, footballs, netball, and many other things to the school. I did that in the morning. Then I came to Parliament because yesterday we had a sitting, and now the new standing orders, the last Wednesday of every month is reserved for backbenchers. And so as a backbencher, I needed to spend some time in Parliament yesterday, which I did. And I decided to go visit Mr. Ibrahim Mahama because he has been a pillar of support and an inspiration. And this is not the first time I am spending time with him on our birthday. I mean, definitely it is great to know that we share the same birthday with such an accomplished man. And I decided to go wish him a happy birthday. And he accommodated me so well. And we had lunch and had some good conversations and all that. So that's why. And then later in the evening, I spent some time with some friends and family. But you see, the one thing about our work is that you need a family that truly understands you. My family understood the need for me to be out there yesterday because certainly the people of Ketu North voted for you to go and represent them. And so there's no way I could have sent myself from Parliament because it was my birthday. And that's why yesterday I didn't do a donation in Ketu North or host any program in the constituency because yesterday was a weekday and I needed to be at work. And so family also understood. And so the little time I spent with some friends and family late night yesterday, they also appreciate it. And so let me say a big thank you to my friends, Will, Joe Pasty, and all the others who put together some surprise dinner of a sort.
Okay.
A late night after 9 p.m. So, because I left Parliament after 8:30 and managed to get to where my friends had organized some surprise dinner of a sort and all that. Yeah.
I see. That's interesting. So here, we want to use this opportunity to wish you a happy belated birthday. And look, we can only wish you the best.
Thank you.
I think that I think it's quite obvious you're one of the fastest rising and of course shining stars as far as Ghanaian politics is concerned. And you have actually paid your dues as far as students' politics, as far as youth politics is concerned. And you have aged very gracefully. I mean, in the very short time, you've done a lot. And it looks like the journey has just started.
God is a lifter of men.
Yes, you fought hard, won your primaries, and you've won the elections, and you're now in Parliament. And before we get on with exactly what get on with our conversation on what with the newspaper review, I'm just curious to find out how is the constituency. I mean, how has it been? Your first time MP. You know, how are you managing the pressure? Expectations are high. You're not just an MP in a party in opposition, but you're an MP in a party in government. You know, you have a lot of these young chaps who are looking up to you as a role model. They want to become like you. They want job. They want employment. And people have varied, you know, how do you call it, degrees of expectations. You know, some is economic, some social, and so on and so forth. How are you managing it, you know, as a first-time MP?
Well, yes, expectations are high, Moro, because the young people in Ketu North and the entire constituency repose so much confidence in me and in President Mahama. In the last election, we won with over 87% of the vote. And so that tells you the level of confidence that the people have in us, and they're expecting us to do some good work. They're expecting us to embark on the reset in Ghana agenda that we preach. And so young people are waiting for jobs. People are waiting for you to create the opportunities for them, because that is why they queue to vote for you. But they also understand that the government is still quite young. We are barely 3 weeks in office. And so they are hoping that as we settle down finally as a government, we should be able to start creating the opportunities that they so desire. But what is interesting is that I am combining my parliamentary work with some intensive work in the constituency as well. So I visit the constituency on weekends. I'm engaging in some community engagement. So far, last weekend, for example, in a day, we did 13 communities.
Wow.
I visited 13 different communities.
Wow.
Spend time with my people, explain to them how President Mahama is forming his government, what is going on, what we expect as Ketu North, what I will be championing or what I will be speaking to. So it is more or less a continuation of the campaign, because if you're able to carry the people along and let them appreciate your challenges, let them appreciate the opportunities, and if you are able to make them see the sincerity in the work and you are accessible, you are affable, the work becomes easier. And so people come to me with some requests. The ones I can do, I'm able to do them, and they appreciate. The ones we can't do anything about it, I still listen to them, explain to them, and carry them along why it is not possible for your MP to do A, B, C, and D. And the people are excited because in less than a month in Parliament, they have seen videos and they have been watching their newly elected MP speak on the floor of the House and raising important issues that affect them. My first comment in Parliament was about education roles, and I mentioned roles that are very critical to not only to the constituency but to the entire Volta region. And we are happy that when President Mahama visited us last week in the Volta regional capital, he mentioned that some of those roles will feature prominently in his first budget. The whole essence of representation is to be able to carry the needs and the aspirations of your people to the appropriate quarters.
Right.
And so I am happy that the people of Ketu North are excited that they are seeing and they are observing their MP speak passionately about the issues that affects them. Again, I have already started implementing some of my campaign promises. For example, we promised to institutionalize a scholarship scheme to support brilliant but needy tertiary students from the constituency. And guess what? The very day I was sworn into office, we launched the Magbana Scholarship Scheme. We opened a portal, and over 800, almost 900 people applied. We have constituted a board led by the venerable Professor Hiatroga, a former leader, former dean, management member of University of Cape Coast, leading that board, and they are screening all the applicants. We are looking at those who are truly deserving of the scholarship, and we have set for ourselves 15th February as the award date. And so on that day, we'll have about 120 to 150 Ketu North students benefiting from a scholarship scheme. And somebody will ask, how are you funding it? Because we need not less than 600,000 Ghana cedis for this particular project. Friends, family. And I tell people that if you're a politician and you have the strong will to embark on impact-driven and people-centered policies, you will certainly get the support. Because if you're able to raise funds to do all the big billboards, print T-shirts, and run a campaign, you should be able to convince your friends and family to also support the scholarship initiative. So, for example, yesterday when I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, I quickly had a conversation with Rafik that, you know what, I've seen the philanthropic works that your boss is embarking on. I'm bringing a proposal how you can support my scholarship scheme so that some students from Ketu North can benefit directly from the philanthropic works of Mr. Ibrahim Mahama and many other generous individuals and people who are just willing to support. And so these are some of the things that we are doing to support our people.
So I think essentially what you're saying is that if you're an MP, you have to be resourceful, not in terms of having a lot of money, but in terms of surrounding yourself with persons who can support you as and when
and Honorable
you need their help.
Felix Okosu-Kwakye made that point in Parliament the other day. You have to be a resourceful MP. If you are resourceful, it doesn't mean you yourself, you must be a money bag, you must be rich. No. I think that is about having the leadership qualities. And when people see that you are genuine. So, yes, maybe tomorrow, after this show, I have a discussion. If you are convinced that the scholarship scheme is a good thing, you may decide that, okay, take this 1,000 Ghana cedis or 2,000 to support it. And that may be enough to support one student. I met a group, an NGO that is willing to take the cost of the fees for all the disabled or persons living with disability who have applied. And so all of this, you can get it done. We have some of these discussions with people, and they are supported. And so, beyond representing the people in Parliament and also taking part in a legislative process, which is our primary responsibility, the nature of our country and our democracy demands also that MPs must be development agents. And, we are hoping that in the next 4 years, Ketu North will see that kind of development that we have been advocating for.
Whilst I'm listening to you attentively, wax all lyrical about some of the things you've done in terms of economic and social interventions in the lives of your own people, it then raises for me a more fundamental issue about really what the role of the MP is. And you've just mentioned it, that it looks like our constituents have a different set of expectations from exactly what it is that you're expected to do as an MP. It's a whole conversation. It's been had before, but we need to revisit it, because sometimes I feel it's not sustainable. Because it is not every MP who may be that resourceful in terms of surrounding themselves with a kind of what we call social capital that enables them to be able to do the kinds of things that you are able to do. You know Ibrahim Mahama. How many MPs know Ibrahim Mahama? How many MPs know people who are like Ibrahim Mahama or other persons who can sort of support them substantially as the people in your lives have done? So there ought to be a way for us to re-engineer the minds of our people to sort of tame or to tone down their expectations, so that the pressure then comes down a little bit. And perhaps when we're able to collectively and unanimously agree whether we are what we're doing with this election of MMDCs, I think we'll bring down some of the pressure on you guys.
Yes, I think there's a whole conversation, like I said. I agree with you that fundamentally, yes, our responsibility is to make laws.
Yeah.
So that is what the Constitution mandates us to do.
Basically.
To legislate and to also provide oversight over the work
and to
of
lobby,
the other executives.
Of course.
You can lobby, yes,
so
bring projects to your constituents.
Yeah.
But some of us are of the view that the current status, as we have it, demands that MPs must be development agents. And so we have seen some other MPs gone beyond what the Constitution mandates them to do, because you are representing the people.
Yeah.
You cannot say because my duty is just legislation when I have a school that is so deprived. The students do not have access
and I can mobilize resources
and I can mobilize resources to do it. I won't do it because that's not my duty. But again, you've raised a very important issue. I am happy that President Mahama is committed. He is so committed to the election of a non-partisan election of MMDCs. Recall that in the previous government, we had some challenges with their implementation plan. They wanted to reduce it to a partisan election. But we were of the view that
open it to everybody,
it must
all
be,
and sundry.
Just as we elect assembly members in a non-partisan way. Yes, it is true that realistically, when there's an assembly contest, you clearly will know this person is an NDC member, that person is an MPP member, and the other parties. We know that, and we see that at the local level. But what it is that because they are not representing the parties in the elections, it is easier for the people to elect them based on their competence and what they bring on board. At the moment a party tag is placed on them, even some of you in the media may be scared to take a stand in such elections because you will be tagged as belonging to Party A or Party B. So I think that it's important for us to maintain the local level elections at the non-partisan level. And I'm happy President Mahama is committed to that. Now, when we begin to elect our MMDCs, what that will do is that the conversation will now shift from whether or not MPs should be the lead development agents looking at the resources that are allocated to them, because MPs get only 5% of the MPs Common Fund is just 5% of what is given to the District Assembly for District Assembly Common Fund. So it is important for us to support President Mahama and the NDC to have this non-partisan election of MMDCs. That, I believe, will help reduce the pressure or the burden on MPs. Is it because MMDCs are not elected, the electorates do not feel the need to put or to channel their pressure or demands to those people. But because you came to them and campaigned, and when you were campaigning, they told you that when you win, we want you to provide us water. We want you to fix this road for us. And so when you are elected, you can't go back to them and tell them that my job is, is just to make laws for the state. No, you must lobby and do everything possible to provide the development that meets their aspirations. And so the election of MMDCs will do well to reduce the burden or the pressure on us.
All right. There's one more question I'll ask you before
Yes.
we get into our discussions with the reports or the publications, the newspaper. Let me say that Vincent Kwasefua, who's the MP for Otafo and also a former deputy local government minister, will also join us in a few minutes. He had some challenges, but it's been resolved. And so he should be with us in the next couple of minutes, hopefully. And so, because I'm already getting text messages from viewers asking who is the MPP rep. Yes, he'll be with us in a few minutes. In fact, he'll take his seat shortly. So, but how are you dealing with it? Just briefly, how are you dealing with the pressure? I mean, former Deputy National Youth Organizer, first-time MP, Ketu North is a big constituency. Yes. In fact, it's the World Bank of the NDC as far as voter policy. Well,
Ketu South is the strategy because they have more numbers than us. But
Ketu North
is equally, equally.
So
about 70,000 voters.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
So how are you dealing with the question of Honorable When? We're waiting, Honorable When? We're waiting, How are you dealing with that?
I think it's about interaction. Let me say that I'm very mindful of the fact that politically I am representing Ketu North because that is my constituency. Yeah. But I'm also representing young people in Parliament because even when you come to my office every day, many of the young people from outside Ketu North, outside Volta region, are coming to you because you are a young person and they believe that they can relate to you. Okay. And so yesterday, one of the receptionists in Parliament said, Honorable, why do you get so many visitors? Because students are coming, young people. I've been a youth organizer at the national level. So the youth across the country, everybody who has a relationship with you or who wants to have a relationship with you will come looking for you. It is important for us to give all of them some good representation in Parliament. But like I told you earlier, Moro, I think that pressure will come. It comes with the work. And the demands will come. It comes with the work. But as a leader, I believe when you are sincere, you live your life freely. Okay. And people understand you for who you are. Okay. My people in Ketu North know for a fact that Adam is kind. And so if he has it, he will share. The little he has, he will share. But if he says he doesn't have it or he's unable to do this for you, it means that he's unable to do it for you. Trust him, he doesn't have it. Okay. So it's about interaction and providing access and also giving them the listening ear. For me, sometimes people just want leaders to listen to them. Okay. Listen to them, listen to their concerns. Sometimes even the way you respond is able to shape their mindset or perception about leaders. And for me, what is key, to conclude, what is key for me is humility. That we are serving the people in humility. We are only their messengers. Okay. We are not supposed to lord over them. And that's why yesterday, the Honorable or Lawyer Osman Ayariga, I watched a clip when he was interacting with his new staff at the National Youth Authority. Yes. And he made a very profound statement. He said, I am here to serve, not to lord over you. So help me serve the youth of Ghana. Partner with me, let's serve the people. You know, when you understand that from the onset, your work becomes easier. You take away the issues of pride and arrogance, because power is such that the moment you allow it to get into your head, you will begin to feel that the people who voted for you don't matter. They don't matter, or you are more important than them. But every day, you must keep reminding yourself. And that's why I like how Collins puts it. The Honorable Collins Amankwa, he says, I'm going back to my employers because they are his employers. When you see your electorates as your Adumako Mensa, Honorable Collins Adumako Mensa,
I once used the word
to my employers.
Well,
and who?
The man who
Collins
is,
told me.
Why? Sorry.
He said I can't use that phrase. It's for
Vincent,
him.
it's for him. Your microphone. No, he's on. His microphone is on. But I think he's introduced himself.
Yeah.
I was just about to introduce when he decided to introduce himself.
Let me just conclude on this point.
Yes.
So Collins says that he's going back to his employers. When you see your electorates, those who voted for you, as either your employers, your bosses, your masters, it helps you to serve them in humility. You don't take them for granted. Yes.
Because you are who you are for as long as they want you to be who you are.
Exactly.
Vincent, good morning. It's good to see you.
To see you too. How are
you? How are you personally doing?
Well, I'm okay.
And how's the constituency?
Opposition, and you are coming late.
We all face domestic challenges. We all face domestic challenges.
So right.
But let me wish you a happy birthday. I think yesterday was your birthday.
Yes,
I saw it on the social media, and clearly you could see that my brother is loved by both sides of the aisle. Clearly, if you have to celebrate your birthday in the first month of you being ushered in as a member of Parliament, and you can also see that he is also adapting very well and quickly. I was happy to have seen him introduce a scholarship scheme, something I did in 2021. I have Agenda 100 in my constituency, where I intend to have about 100 lawyers in the next 6 years, 100 doctors in the next 6 years, and 100 engineers in the next 6 years. And so normally what I do with my common fund is to ensure that people who approach me or approach any of my secretaries to be able to have some amount of engagement as far as scholarship needs are concerned. We take very critical look at some of these fields. And so I think it's in the right direction. The best that you can give to your people is to be able to build their capacity. Many a times, some of us also use ourselves as an example where had it not been dint of hard work or dent of some amount of energy that is being put into taking care of some of us by our parents, I'm sure that it would have been very difficult to also find ourselves wherever we are today. And so if you have the opportunity, the least that you can do for your people is to ensure that you build their capacity, you make sure that they are educated, you make sure that you build a number of the youth in your constituency, so that in the next few years, you can beat your chest and say, this is the legacy that you've bequeathed to your people. And so I think that is a very good thing that any MP should be able to do for his or her people.
That's good. So let's go back to Parliament. In the last few weeks, since the Appointments Committee sat and started vetting the nominees, a number of issues have come up. But this is the first time somebody has actually been invited for questioning on some comments and some comments that he made on social media. And if you look at the Ghanaian Times today, Oliver Bakavomawo renders unreserved apology to Appointments Committee. Now, the story reads, and is by Raisa Sambu. It says, a political activist, Oliver Bakavomawo, yesterday rendered an unreserved apology to Parliament's Appointments Committee for alleging that its chairman and members were involved in bribery. Now, appearing before the committee yesterday, he admitted to authoring one of the statements circulating on social media, but denied responsibility for another. Now, he pledges to retract his remarks and issue a disclaimer regarding the one he did not write. My post was not meant to suggest that members of the committee had solicited or accepted bribes. That was never my intention, and for any misunderstanding caused, I apologize. Bakavomawo, who is also a co-convener of Democracy Hub, also clarified that while Mr. Bernard Nyafo, the Pension People's Party, CPP, is not a member of the National Democratic, who is also a co-convener of the Democracy Hub, also clarified that while he, Bernard Nyafo, the Convention People's Party, CPP, he is not a member of the National Democratic Congress. His legal representative, a veteran lawyer, Nana Atodadzi, described Bakavomawa as a passionate advocate for democracy who exposed societal wrongs. He explained that the activist social media posts were based on snippets of information received through personal channels, which he viewed as part of his constitutional right to free speech and whistleblowing. The controversy started last Tuesday, when the chairman of the Appointments Committee of Parliament, Mr. Bernard Ahiafo, directed a clerk to the committee to summon the political activists to appear before the committee yesterday to substantiate the allegations of bribery against its members. Addressing the matter, Mr. Ahiafo described the allegations as false and damaging, stressing the need to protect the integrity of the committee. Bernard Ahiafo, chairman of the appointing committee, he said, I want to place on record that neither myself nor my committee member demands money from nominees before vetting and approving them. The chairman assured his readiness to be investigated by any relevant authority and further stressed the importance of addressing the allegations promptly. And so it goes on and on and on. But the chairman warned that the failure of Mr. Bakavoma to provide evidence would compel the committee to invoke its powers to address the matter with all the seriousness it deserves. Of course, Minority Chief Anodompre says the accusations had undermined the credibility of the committee and went on and on to talk about the impact or the effect this has had on the committee. I don't know, were you in Parliament yesterday?
Yesterday I was in Parliament, but I was not on the appointment committee.
Yes, so, okay. So I'm sure you watched it on TV, or you must have listened to it on radio.
Yes, I watched on TV. Okay. And, I actually followed yesterday evening as well.
Okay. What do you make of the explanation that Oliver Bakavomawo made in order to sort of justify why he believed that his real intention for putting that out has been misconstrued or has been misconceived?
No, but I think that what is wrong, no matter how hard you try to justify it. You could clearly see a struggling Vomawo to justify whatever was said. Even in doing so, he also acknowledged that he erred, and for that matter, he will apologize. But one thing that we should know is that inherent in the appointment committee's rights is to make sure that it can call, or if you like, hold people before its committee, and has rights like a high court to be able to also hold people and to tell people that they can also bring documents or whatsoever to the committee for the committee to assess some of these things. It is like all other committees of Parliament. That power is guaranteed under the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And also the standing orders of Parliament. But one thing that I found very worrying as a lawyer, especially when I saw the veteran Nana Atodadzi trying to give reasons, especially in law, as to what he sees as a proper defense to the statement that was made by Vomawo, relying on the Whistleblowers Act 720. I found that very interesting and very worrying at the same time. It's very troubling, and I don't think that that should have been the way to go, especially because if you read the Whistleblowers Act, that is the Act 720, where that is disclosure of impropriety, and I think that is where Nana Atuata was trying to, as it were, rely on as a basis for his defense for his client, based on the instructions that he had from his client. But if you read the disclosure of impropriety, it talks about the fact that a person may make a disclosure of information where that person has reasonable cause to believe that the information tends to show. And where it really relates to this matter is the B, that another person has not complied with the law or is in the process of breaking a law, which means that bribery, it's under the criminal code, it's an offense. So if anybody wants to break a law if anybody want to do something that is in contravention with the law, then of course the Section 1 of the Whistleblowers Act can be relied upon. I wanted to see how you could situate the comment that was made by Vomawo in the context of Section 1 of the Act 720 to see if he could provide some amount of evidence or proof for some of the things that he said. Moro, mind you, even when I joined Parliament in 2021, at the time, some of these comments were made. Some of these allegations have been made. It's not the first time we are hearing some of these comments. You hear people talk about the fact that the appointment committee is taking money from people or is demanding money from people, or people who have also decided to offer some amount of money to the appointment committee and what have you. Yesterday, I was so much interested because I wanted to really get a proof or an evidence from some of these allegations that have been made, if indeed they were true, so that we can have a way to sanctify our democracy through Parliament.
And especially given the follow-up comments that Oliver made.
Right.
When the announcement came that he was going to be hauled before the committee.
Right.
He said something to the effect that, well, it's time to do the needful, or something like that. He said, which sort of suggested that
it's time to make sure that our democracy
exactly. So this is how a democracy improves.
Yes.
He says, I look forward to appearing before the appointment committee tomorrow.
Yes.
And the impression this statement gave to, I'm sure, most people was that he has something up his sleeves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I got very disappointed only to find out that Nanato Dadzi and the other lawyers came there to apologize. But of course, in doing so, they still wanted to show mettle. They still wanted to justify. You see, you cannot give a qualified apology of this nature to a committee that feels that its image is tainted or is about to be tainted. Because if you read the Article 122 of the 1992 Constitution, at any point in time that Parliament thinks or believes that any statement or anything has been done that is supposed to mar the integrity and image of Parliament, contempt proceedings can be triggered against you. And so I fell in love with Ahiafo yesterday. You could see a clearly angered man. You could see a clearly interested man who wanted to make sure that his image and the credibility of Parliament is intact, just to make sure, because clearly you could see that he was so sure that he has not taken any money from anybody, he has not demanded money from anybody. The side of the NDC has not even done that, let alone the side of the NPP to do so. And this is a clearly populated NDC side committee that will not need any minister to even negotiate with anybody or to even engage anybody for approval purposes. It's needless. I could have taken some amount of keen interest in it in terms of believing it maybe in the 8th Parliament. But in the 9th Parliament, some of these things, for me, and in my estimation, cannot be possible. And so I was very much interested in finding out as to what happened. To my surprise, and I got so much surprised to have seen that he had nothing to show. There was no basis, there was no proof, there was no evidence. These things were just said for purposes of saying it. And sometimes, or many a time, these things are said on social media, and you have a lot of people supporting it, even after he left the committee. The apology that he gave, for me, was still qualified. And I think that the appointment committee should take interest in that. We were demanding for an unqualified apology because the integrity of Parliament is what you seek to taint. You allege bribery on persons that you know and you cannot prove, you cannot provide any evidence on such persons. And when you have been asked to apologize so that the matter is not taken upwards to maybe the Privileges Committee, for the Privileges Committee to hear you, so that sanctions may be given if you are unable to provide the evidence. Because clearly, today, if the Privileges Committee sits on this matter, because the apology that has been given is qualified, which is not acceptable. It is not an acceptable apology, in my estimation. He should do the needful and give an unqualified apology for the Ghanaian people to know that indeed you are remorseful about what you've done. But the apology that I saw on his Facebook wall doesn't show that a man, it doesn't show a man who is remorseful about the incidents that happened, about his actions. And that is regretful. I was expecting Nana Atudazi, his caliber, somebody who has been at the bar for 50 years. When he started practicing, some of us were not even born. And so, with his caliber, you should have known that, yes, the man indeed has erred. The man has done things that is an affront to the integrity and image of the appointments committee. And for that matter, Abinishu, just upon attending to the committee, should have just apologized vehemently to the people of Ghana and to Parliament, so that we could have moved forward. In the absence of that, I don't think that this is how, in his own words, we can improve democracy.
I see. So it's beginning to look like perhaps the appointment committee has not really dealt with this matter to your satisfaction.
The appointment committee,
or you think they've done
they have done, but I am just calling the appointment committee
to follow
based on the qualified apology that they gave, which to me is unsatisfactory. To call him back or to direct S. Clark to write to him that the apology that is supposed to be given should not be a qualified apology, rather an unqualified apology to the appointment committee, so that Parliament and the appointment committee will be satisfied that indeed this is a man who is remorseful. This is a man who indeed wants to protect and improve democracy. Because in democracy, when you allege things that are falsehoods, and that tends to, as it will, affect the image and integrity of people, you should be able to make sure that you protect the sanctity of Parliament and the persons that you've made those allegations against.
So I guess the point you're making is that his apology does not sound as though, on hindsight, he has accepted that what he did was wrong, and he is genuinely sorry about it.
Absolutely.
But it's as though I'm apologizing because this is what you want, so I'm giving it to you.
And he's also seeking to put an unnecessary interpretation to it. An interpretation that he thinks that when he gives the people of Ghana will understand it. But of course, it doesn't make sense to me, because everybody can read. You cannot put your own mischievous interpretation to it to make it sound a certain way that you want to communicate. Of course, to show your mettle that you do not want to apologize. But you are apologizing because you have been told to apologize. That is not remorseful enough.
I get it. There are other related matters, actually. So this is one of the... So this is actually the post he's denying he authored. So all the monies that the ministerial appointees are being asked to pay to the appointments committee just to get approved, are those So I guess this is the one he's denying he authored.
No,
this one he says this one he accepts. He accepts responsibility for this.
So tomorrow I was there yesterday. In the morning I sat before the commencement of this particular session, because I was looking forward to seeing my friend, my good friend and brother Oliver, provide some evidence to substantiate the allegation or his claims on social media. I took a particular interest in this matter because, a few times people saw me seated around the table where the appointment committee were vetting the ministerial nominees. I'm not a member of that committee, but as a member of Parliament, you are permitted to sit as a friend to the committee, just that you do not have the powers to, or you cannot cast a vote, or sometimes even ask questions. But if the chairperson gives you, using his own discretion, decides to let you ask a question, you can. So when he made this allegation, somebody sent me a message asking me, hey, here you, the NDC members, have taken some money, so give me my share. I said, oh, which money, which share? You see, Oliver is a friend. And I like the fact that he is very assertive on issues. And we all encourage that for democracy to grow, for us to strengthen our democracy, people must be encouraged to speak out. And people must be encouraged to, in the interest of this country, fight to protect our country. Because when this democracy collapses, all of us are under threat. All of us will be affected. And that is why I may disagree with Manasseh, but I admire him. And I've said this on platforms. Sometimes people don't take it lightly when you say some of this. I may disagree with some of the things that he does or his position on some issues, but I admire the fact that consistently he speaks to issues about national interest. Same with even some other people that are aligned to the other party. The point I'm trying to make is that the claims he made on social media has gone a long way to dent the image of the chairperson, the Honorable Bernard Ahiafo, who happens to be the MP for Akachi South, my neighboring constituency. A well-respected MP for that matter, a legislator who has done so well for Parliament, and he's well respected. So when such claims are made without any evidence, you throw all of us under the bus, and people see you and they just assume that you are also benefiting from corruption and what have you. And some of us have very high principles and morals when it comes to issues of corruption. And we believe that if you have evidence that any member of the appointment committee or any member of Parliament has taken bribe or takes bribe in the performance of their duties, you are allowed to voice it out and provide your evidence so that we can all strengthen the democracy that we have. But when people are allowed to just make such claims without any evidence, what happens is that regardless of how principled Edem Agbana or Vincent may be, all of you are put in that bracket as,
bribe takers.
All of you are bribe takers. And so I was expecting that yesterday, Oliver would have taken that huge opportunity before the appointment committee, a program that was live on all the major national television stations, to substantiate his argument, his claims. So the moment his lawyer, the venerable Nana Atodaze, he is such an accomplished lawyer that some of us do not even qualify to discuss or want to go into his works. No doubt about his credentials as a lawyer. The moment he started rendering an apology and trying to justify the claims, I stood up and I left, because I sat there because I was expecting an evidence to back the claims. You see, because when you don't do that, we allow people to just make claims and they get away with it. So tomorrow, somebody else can go on social media and write that before MPs appear on Good Morning Ghana, they pay bribe to, and they if you don't even use the word allegedly, they pay bribe to producers. And so tomorrow, somebody makes that allegation, the person will just go scot-free. So any other MP will be afraid. I tell you that when we were constituting the appointment committee, and that was one of the first 3 committees that we constituted. And look, there are members of Parliament, because of this perception, despite their competencies and ability to work well in this committee, they will tell you that any committee that has to do with appointment committee or public account or what have you, we don't want to be involved because of the perception. People, and they know it is not true. So, Moro, I think that Oliver's apology, I think he must do well to ensure that what happened yesterday does not repeat itself, where you just make a claim and put people under the bus. And in any case, let's even bring it down, take it away from all the legal and parliamentary issues to the issues of excuse me to say, common sense. I am a member of parliament representing the people of Ketu North on the ticket of the NDC. If I happen to be a member of the appointment committee, why should an NDC member of parliament take bribes from nominees of President Mahama before approving them or before vetting them? I mean, Vincent, it is not as if you have a situation where maybe the numbers are even so close that you are scared that due to A, B, C, or D reasons, the appointee may not go through. I mean, what is my excuse for disapproving or not vetting an appointee of President Mahama when
even
clearly we are the majority
even the nominee
in the committee?
That was not asked even a single question. We'll go through. So what's the
Exactly,
point?
because at the end of the day, we all know how this is. And at the end, look, we know for a fact.
You're referring to a certain
Linda.
Oklu.
Yes, and
Yeah.
and it's allowed. It's part of it because it's a vetting. So if we
Because
think
the
that,
Constitution
and you
doesn't talk about vetting
I have heard
necessarily.
people
It's an
complain.
approval.
I have heard people complain about that particular vet, and I tell people, I know for a fact. I've sat on interview panels where some people approach the interview panel. People on the panel says, "Oh, as for you, oh, we know you, and we know what you are capable of doing." Imagine. No, you see, so that's a very good question to ask. That what about the
But how
public?
about the public? Yes.
But the question also is that what is the appointment committee looking for in the nominees? Are they doing it for the public, or it is about satisfying their own credentials that they believe is in the interest of the state? That is why at the end of the day, they present a report to Parliament. Don't forget that the appointment committee is an extension of Parliament.
Yes.
So they present a report, and representatives of the public, I mean members of Parliament, have an opportunity to speak to the report and then decide to whether approve or not approve. And that is why yesterday, when you got to the Honorable Amakofibua, minority decided that they took a stand on him. We also took a stand on our minister, and eventually he got approved. So it's a conversation for us to have. But I think it's important that when you make allegations, I've seen another video from one, I'm told he's a journalist, also making some claims about the Speaker of Parliament and all of that. I believe that Parliament should act, and then he should also be invited to answer, because when you make such allegations into the air and you don't back it with any fact, you put people's hard-earned reputation on the line. So I think that Oliver obviously must do the needful.
Two related issues to this Oliver matter. So I heard Roxanne Nelson Echedafiamapo raised a jurisdictional matter, whether indeed the appropriate forum had been invoked to look into this issue. And so for him, there's some kind of a procedural error, some kind of a procedural defect with what had happened yesterday. And that your standing orders, which is Order 217, is quite clear as to what the job of the appointments committee should be. Just vet and send the report to plenary. If the plenary wants to debate it, that's fine. And then a confirmation will come in. But to reduce the job of the appointment committee to summoning people and trying to get them to either justify or otherwise, or to back their comments with some kind of evidence or proof, it's not really truly what the mandate of the committee is. And that is also for another committee of parliament, which is the Privileges Committee.
No.
And so his argument was that you risk becoming judges in your own court when you summon somebody before you and you attempt to sort of get the person to back whatever claims they have made, which, of course, you said, as you have argued, could potentially hurt the image of Parliament. He doesn't think that is the right thing to do.
No, Moro.
And that is a journey that is not going to go anywhere.
Moro, I disagree.
You disagree with him?
I disagree with him to some extent.
Okay.
Some extent because, one, every committee has the powers of a high court.
Okay.
That is right. It is stated in the Standing Orders of Parliament and the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Unfortunately, I didn't bring my Standing Orders and Constitution. I would have just quoted them for you. Two, it is also right that every committee of Parliament has the powers to be able to summon people before it, like that of the High Court. However, when it comes to summoning people before a committee, they may
contempt.
So I'll get there.
Okay.
I'll get there. I'll get to the contempt.
Okay.
So when you summon people before a committee, you are summoning people before a committee because you have that power to be able to do so. For any committee, not just the Privileges Committee, every committee of Parliament, you have the power to summon people to even produce documents, some evidences to that committee based on the requests that is made by the committee through the clerk of the committee. However, when it comes to issues of contempt, to inquire into what happened or what was said so that you'll be given an opportunity to be heard, to fulfill the natural justice principle whereby you have to hear the other party. That is done by the Privileges Committee. So the Appointment Committee did not err by summoning Vomawo before it to, as it were, produce evidence of what it has or he has said. However, if you wanted to go into the matter and make it a contempt, then that one the Appointment Committee had no option than to forward the matter to the Privileges Committee for the Privileges Committee to deal with it. So yesterday, if you were listening to it very well, Afenyo Markin was very instructive when he said that, Nana Todazi, do you want us to take the matter up further?
Yes.
So that the Privileges Committee will now deal with the matter as a contempt issue, as it has been enshrined in Article 122 of the 1992 Constitution. So when it comes to contempt, if the person has been cited by contempt, if the person has been cited for contempt, what happens is that the person will have to appear before the Privileges Committee to answer questions based on the fact that why shouldn't the committee, that is the Privileges Committee, cite you for contempt and punish you based on the contempt.
We've just done some research. In fact, when you brought this matter up about equating the powers of a committee to a high court, so you can see we've just put it up. A committee appointed under this article shall have the powers, rights, and privileges of the High Court for a justice of the High Court at a trial. 4A, enforcing the attendance of witnesses and examining them on oath, affirmation or otherwise. B, compelling the production of documents. And C, issuing a commission or request to examine witnesses abroad. So this is where, I believe, the committee was drawing its powers from.
Yes.
Yeah, because the High Court can't do
Yes.
Yeah.
So they brought Vomawo before it
to
examine it per 6A.
Right.
So the Appointment Committee did not err in law to have invited Vomawo to appear before it to examine him.
Okay.
But if you want to cite him for contempt, then the Appointment Committee is not clothed with the jurisdiction to do so. That is the sole preserve for the Privileges Committee of Parliament.
Oh, okay.
So if Vomawo and his lawyer had not apologized, then the chairman of the Appointment Committee would have, as it were, forwarded the matter to the Privileges Committee, citing him for contempt because the image and the integrity of Parliament
was at stake.
Was bruised.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in such circumstances, Article 122 of the 1992 Constitution would have been triggered for him to appear before the Privileges Committee. Then they will go into the matter proper, and that is why Dafiamapo was resisting the fact that Frank Anodompre wanted to use the committee as I ask you a question, you're supposed to answer me. I ask you a question, you're supposed to answer me, that kind of thing. That is the sole preserve for the Privileges Committee. So the Appointment Committee did not err in doing so. The Appointment Committee has every right under the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana and the Standing Orders of Parliament to summon people before it and examine such people under oath.
The initial, how do you call it, a statute that we read from our Constitution was Article 1063.
Right.
Now, what we have now is 122, as you can see. So, it's general contempt cases, where it says an act or omission which obstructs or impedes Parliament in the performance of its functions, or which obstructs or impedes a member or officer of Parliament in the discharge of his duties, or affronts the dignity of Parliament, or which tends either directly or indirectly to produce that result, is contempt of Parliament. So this is what the Privileges Committee would have sought to, find out.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay, but you're saying that the Appointment Committee can't do this. This is for the Privileges Committee.
The Appointment Committee cannot trigger the
122.
cannot trigger 122 necessarily. Because you see, Vomawa's issue deals with an act or omission. Then you come down to the last but three. An act or omission which obstructs or which affronts the dignity of Parliament.
Right.
If it affronts the dignity of Parliament, then the Privileges Committee has every responsibility to hold you before it to explain why we should not cite you for contempt, or we should not punish you for contempt. You know the new standing orders. Parliament has been given the power to punish or sentence people. Parliament can sentence people to imprisonment. Parliament can even fine people. That is the new power, if you like. That is the power that has been given to Parliament under the new standing orders of Parliament. And so, if Vomawo, if I were him, would go ahead to give an unqualified apology, so that no member will take his qualified apology to the Privileges Committee when it is formed. Because as we speak, the Privilege Committee has not been formed. By next week, I'm sure that the Privileges Committee and all other committees will be formed, so that members of Parliament will know the kind of committees that they are going to serve on. So if any member take this matter to the Privileges Committee, and the Privileges Committee feels that his actions affronts the dignity of Parliament, then he's going to have himself to blame. And so I do not think that that is where we want to get to. Yesterday, listening to Afenyo Markin and listening to the chairman of the Appointment Committee, Ahiafo, these two, per what they said, had met through a conclave. They went to a conclave, and both sides of the aisle decided that it's a matter that they do not want to actually stretch it, but it's a matter that if the person who has been hauled before it, that is, who has been hauled before the committee, wants to apologize and know that indeed he has no evidence or proof or whatsoever to show, then of course it's not a matter that they are going to stretch. But that is why the two of them were so much interested in the fact that Vomawo had to unqualifiedly give an apology to the people of Ghana and to Parliament that yes, I said this, but upon hindsight, it's not something that I should have said because I have no evidence or whatsoever to be able to back my claim.
Okay. So it's beginning to look like it's not over yet until it is over. Because as you rightly said, Vomawo's statement or Vomawo's apology doesn't sound sincere. And
but what do you think? Because if you let your producers check for you, you realize that it's a qualified apology to me. Even his subsequent statements,
I understand what you're saying.
It's very clear.
I mean, to the extent that it does not sound sincere, he risks being invited by the
and any member can trigger that,
and then take it from there. Okay, that's fine. But there's another matter which borders on the image of a member of Parliament, as some will argue. And the minority has had cause to issue a statement, officially now, to state their position on the matter. And it has to do with the confrontation between the Petroleum Commission acting CEO, who is also a private legal practitioner, MFA Hardcastle, and that verbal exchanges that ensued between her and I think that's the minority chief whip, isn't it? Another prayer.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll read that official statement. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at that official statement, and then I'll pick your thoughts on that before. If there's time, we'll look at some other issues with the current state of our economy in relation to the creditor committee's decision to postpone or to suspend $2.8 billion, which we should have paid this year, cumulatively, 2023, 2024, 2025. But now we're supposed to pay 2020, whether we can even pay by next year. So we'll take a short break. This is Good Morning Ghana, and we'll be right back.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bread you call mattress anymore? Don some slippers, then follow me.
It is part of the mattress we did the front there.
Yeah?
Happiness mattress where the dead for.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Attention all farmers. Are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and IRECOP brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa and the IRECOP with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and IRECOP organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
This is Coastal Park, a well-demarcated gated community carved out to host your residential and commercial properties. With a minimum of 40,000 Ghana cedis, you too can own a piece of this serene site.
It's just 50 minutes drive from the Central University College, as well as just some 5 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School. More so, just in case you live somewhere in Adam and you want to take that excursion to many of those areas along the Volta estuary, this is the right property for you to invest in.
Great news from Estate Masters Limited. We're running a 10% discount promo on all sites to celebrate our 10th year anniversary. Join in the celebration by becoming an Estate Master. Enjoy benefits such as free site visits throughout the duration, free indenture, and free site plan. Contact us for more information. Remember, T's and C's apply. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
You're the answer to my prayer. You're with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
Well, if you doubt it, listen to me. When I'm done, the video is all over social media. Speaker, I felt abused. Please address me. Speaker, with the greatest of respect, I felt very abused. And there I felt, how can a man be killed in his own backyard? Even if there should be any crucifixion, the crucifixion should not be done in my own house. So reasonably, I reached out to the chair of the committee and reported same matter. Members who were present, who heard it, who witnessed it, all came to corroborate my story. I think, Speaker, I want to put this on record, that even though she passed by to render a certain lame apology, it is totally unacceptable. Speaker, I am compelled to resort to this approach. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have done it. And when I came in, I saw my colleague, the Honorable Governance, who I'm very close to, leader of the House. Forgive me, I didn't tell you about this. I related to him that, have I done something wrong to this lady? Why would I be abused to this extent? Why I haven't said anything? I haven't provoked you in any way. So not to belabor the point, I feel my reputation is lowered by these attacks. And the video, thankfully, there were good people around who recorded it. The video is all over. And traditional media houses are showing the video. And don't forget, it's not about me. It's about an institution called Parliament. Coincidentally.
Right, so Hannah Dompré, you heard him on the floor of Parliament. He said it's not about him, it's about the institution of Parliament. And our conversation the last 1.5 hours or so is about the institution of Parliament. And so we're going to put the two issues together. But before we do that, Prince Derek Ajay, your very good friend, he says I should ask you.
He's my boss, actually.
Oh, he's your boss?
Yeah. I did my national service under him. Yeah, my national service at National Youth Authority.
Oh, I see.
He was my direct boss. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My direct boss.
It says Vincent must name the bribe-giving businessman who bribed the MPP MPs to rescind their decision to have the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta sacked. This affront to the dignity of Parliament still stands.
But Prince knows very well this statement was not said by me. I mean, the one who said it is there. I'm not privy to the details of that allegation.
I'm also not aware. I'm also not aware. Anyway, but you know what? Just let's do this quickly. Now, closely related to the conversation we're having earlier about the appointments committee and their decision to summon Oliver Baka based on the publication he made, and he apologizing, albeit you can call it half apology because it didn't look, it was unconditional, you know, and you saying that he should count himself lucky if the privileges committee, after they've been constituted, do not even invite him over.
Or if a member does not personally petition
the privileges committee for him to appear before it again and dig deeper into the issue. I don't know whether you've heard the comment made by Joe Wise, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, and also the MP for what's the name of the constituency again? Bekwai. Of course, by virtue of him being the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, he also becomes by your standing orders, the chairman of the Appointments Committee. Now, he said something, and I think that it would help enhance the quality of the conversation we're just having. Now, Joe Wise says this, and Adam and Vincent, please hear me out.
Yeah, I'm listening.
It's a former first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Wusu, has admitted that members of the Appointments Committee receive money from the Chief of Staff after vetting nominees. However, the former Bekwai MP insists that it is not bribery. The former chair of the committee defended the practice, stating that it was meant to facilitate their work and had nothing to do with influencing decisions. Yes, indeed, I told him, Manas Azuri, that when I joined the Appointments Committee, most of the time, at the close of our work, the Chief of Staff would bring money to the members of the committee. It's like facilitating your work. I wonder how anybody could link that to bribery. Mr. Osei-Wusu expressed frustration with what he described as the ease with which allegations are thrown around in Ghana without evidence. So, does this help?
Read the first line again.
You mean the first paragraph?
Yes, the first paragraph.
Okay. It says, former first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Wusu, has admitted that members of the Appointments Committee receive money from the Chief of Staff after vetting nominees.
However, no, it's okay. It's okay.
That's all.
After vetting nominees.
Okay, but does it make any difference?
After vetting nominees.
Okay.
When I'm giving you something, I give it to you with the intention that you will be able to do something for me, or do something on my behalf, or do something favorably for me. So that is why I'll give you something, or I'll give you money before the activity will be done, or before you will have your role to play. So if I want to bribe you, I say nothing about it. To maybe give me a slot to come to Good Morning Ghana every Thursday, or to come to Good Morning Ghana this Thursday. I say nothing about it. Now, when we close from here, I say, oh, Charlie, make I give you 200,000. So I give you 200,000. How has that, or how is that bribery? Because monies were not given to you in anticipation of a return of a favor. So what the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, former, wanted to say was that, okay, you were the chairman of the Appointments Committee. You are done with the vetting of all the nominees. So please take this, in his words or in his own words, to facilitate or to say thank you for the number of hours that you've spent on the vetting of the president's nominee. I do not see how this can be categorized as bribery. And I would have wished that I had my Criminal Offences Act here so that you could see the elements of bribery. For something to constitute bribery under law, what are the elements? I should be expecting a favor from you.
Right.
But if I don't expect any favor from you, after you are done with whatever you are supposed to be doing, then I bring you something that cannot be termed as bribery under the Criminal Offences Act.
Maybe for us to be able to properly discuss this, we need to know whether it has been the practice over a period of time,
right,
or it was only during his tenure.
In fact, if you listen to him, he said that this is something that has been going on for some time.
Good. Now, if this is the case, as he has alluded to, then someone can also make an argument that whether it is ex ante or it is post facto, it really would not, it's immaterial.
It is material.
Because if I have expectations that after my job or after my work as a member of the appointment committee, there's something that is on the horizon.
There are no expectations. You shouldn't have that expectation.
No, I'm just saying that because it has been the practice, and that's why I said we should, you know, we should state it accurately.
What has been the
if
practice?
It has been the practice over the period.
Out of the benevolence of the chief of staff.
Yes.
You are done with the vetting of nominates of
Yes.
the president's appointment. Okay? Then he or she brings you something. After you are done with the job. So the money or whatever you were given does not have any influence or whatsoever with the kind of job that you did.
Okay.
After you are done.
Okay.
So for me, I cannot constitute that as bribery. That's what I'm saying, that there are elements under the Criminal Offences Act that will constitute what bribery is. This narrative does not fall within the elements of what bribery is.
That's why, Vincent, I'm asking that what really is the motive for giving out this money?
When you listen to him, I was
he
not
talks
part,
about facilitates.
I was not part of the appointment committee.
No, I'm trying to pick your opinion on this. That are we supposed to accept what Joe Weiss is telling us, which is to facilitate their work? I mean, these are MPs who are being paid.
Right.
If I can come in.
Yes, please do.
Well, I respectfully disagree with my brother, the Honorable MP, because I believe that as public officials, we must have clarity on our principles, and we must be very consistent in setting the standards when it comes to issues of corruption. Corruption can occur before, during, or after a process. And so the example, let me use the example my brother Vincent used. If I am convinced that by appearing on your show, after I am done with the show, it will give me some monetary benefits, because that is the established standards or established protocol. What it means is that whether I receive the money before or not, the knowledge of it that you are entitled to this may influence the kind of things that you do even on the committee.
No, I think the premise is not right, because it's not a standard protocol.
No, it's not. So we are talking about what we are saying, he says that is what has been over the period. I am surprised, because the Honorable Joe Weiss, I believe he is also a lawyer.
Yes,
and
he's
a
senior lawyer.
Yes.
He's a senior lawyer. And having chaired the appointment committee and hearing this from him is quite surprising. I want to believe that that was the practice from 2017 and in 2021. I will be surprised, and I know the Honorable Julius Debra for his principles. I will be surprised if under the NDC government, any monies are allocated from the office of the chief of staff or the office of the president for whatever motivation or whatever. Every committee of parliament works within a budget. And I see no reason why the office of the chief of staff should allocate money as motivation or whatever. But again, this is just coming from one individual. Other members of the committee or those who have served on the appointment committee before are yet to speak to this matter. When you read my friend Manasseh's book, he made similar assertions. But recall that there was an incident when the Honorable Mahama Yariga, the Honorable Ablakwa, and a third person alleged, some 3 MPs alleged that Honorable Boachi Ejako tried or attempted influencing them. When they reached out to the other members of the committee, they all denied. it means that it is possible.
In fact, the book in question, in fact, the question which was posed to the former First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Wise, was actually a question which was curled out of Manasseh's book. And you see, as you see, the book, there's a portion of the book. It says, in the present Ghana never got, the immediate past First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Wusu, and the former NDC's Minority Chief Whip, Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka, confirmed to me. So you see, you wanted to know whether there were other committee members who had spoken to the matter. So here's the evidence, sort of. It says, confirmed to me, please put it back on. Confirmed to me that the Appointment Committee of Parliament routinely received cash payments from the office of the president during vetting of ministerial nominees. You wanted to know, so this is it.
So I'm saying if that is what has happened over the period,
sure,
I would want to humbly appeal that shouldn't continue.
Practice should be discontinued.
Should be discontinued, because look at all the issues that it is
bringing up.
It is bringing up, and we promise to reset Ghana. We promise to run a lean and efficient administration. Efficiency there does not only speak to, or it's not only about the performance of government appointees or their deliverables, their outcomes. It is also about how resources, monies meant for the state, are judiciously used. I would want to plead that, look, we need to do more to get the Ghanaian people to have trust and confidence in us. And that is why I believe that the Appointment Committee of Parliament must ensure that all these rumors around it are properly dispelled by ensuring that you take on people who accuse you wrongly and, if possible, sue them for defamation. This confirmation in the book may be related to only a practice within a certain period. But the impression out there that any time or every time every chief of staff does it is what I am trying to fight. Because the Honorable Joe Wise was only the chairman of the committee for a period. He has not been the chairman of the committee from the inception of Appointment Committee. I don't know if you are trying to get the point that I'm saying. So maybe he's speaking to the period when he was chairperson. And that is why I'm saying that within that period, the chief of staff was Honorable Frema Osei Opare.
Yeah.
Maybe she must be questioned, and she must give some answers on some of these issues. But like I said, I will be surprised if a penny from Honorable Julius Zebre's office or any other chief of staff appointed under President Mahama goes to Parliament for whatever motivation or facilitation. I believe that it is not a practice that will work well within the NDC government. That is why I think that the former First Deputy Speaker, a lawyer of high repute for that matter, must come clearer and explain what those monies were meant for. But the resetting Ghana agenda demands that some of these practices should stop. And I know for a fact that the current Appointment Committee has not received any money from the Chief of Staff's office. I know that members of the committee are doing their work as Parliament has mandated them to do, just like any other committee of the House. But all of us as public officials must do well not to create the impression.
And you know why? Adam, do you know why this is even more disturbing? And I'm talking about the comments that was made by Joe Osei-Wusu. Because it's opened a can of worms. There may be follow-up questions such as, when those monies were given to you, did you even pay tax on it? If it's a gift, even if it's a gift. Do you get a point? Do you get a point I'm making?
But let's even assume that we want to classify as gift.
Yes.
If it is a gift,
pay gift tax.
the giver in what is the motivation behind what is the motive?
That's a valid question.
If you want to classify it as allowance, is it the chief of staff's office or the presidency that pays
allowances to members of appointment committee? So you see, these are the kinds of questions.
So there are questions that it brings up. But I want to believe that, given the opportunity, the Honorable Jose also provide further clarification on it, because the way and manner in which it has been captured is as though they do their work and they expect certain things
for me, it
from
sends
the
a very
presidency.
disturbing
But again,
impression.
like I said, that may have happened under his chairmanship when he was the first deputy speaker and the Honorable Frema Jose Opari was the chief of staff. I don't see that happening under the NDC government. Never.
Yeah. All right. So let me do this. So a very good friend of mine, Prosper Ashikwe, says, "My brother Moro, good morning. I disagree with my friend from the MPP. It is utterly preposterous, for anybody to put justification to a nominee giving money for no reason. And the argument is that if it is post facto, then it is okay. Now, it says unbelievable. Fact, after vetting a nominee, a decision is taken by Parliament on whether the vetted duly acquitted himself or herself or not. I am afraid that can also be influenced. It is very material to parliamentary approval, especially considering what pertained in the previous parliament, which is a hung parliament. What is anybody's business giving money for no reason?" I'm surprised. Please say hi to him.
I don't know. I also disagree.
I don't know why you know him.
I also disagree with him because even if the appointment committee comes to plenary and say that the appointment committee by consensus approved or recommended the nominee, it is the duty of plenary to debate it and as to accept or otherwise of the vetting. And so I disagree with him on that.
So let's quickly make progress on this one. So it's about MFR Hardcastle. We'll use the next 10 minutes to do this. MFR Hardcastle. Do we even have, yes, so 10 minutes. So minorities demanding severe sanctions against MFR Hardcastle. We'll deal with the matters about the economy tomorrow. But it says that the Minority Caucus of Parliament, so still within Parliament, so the Minority Caucus of Parliament has condemned the conduct of Victoria MFR Hardcastle, acting Chief Executive Officer of the Petroleum Commission, against Frank Anodompreh, describing her actions as egregious contempt of Parliament. Now, the caucus is calling for a decisive sanction, citing her alleged attempt to undermine the authority of the Minority Chief Whip and her use of what is called unconscionable language against a senior member of Parliament. The incident in question reportedly occurred on Tuesday, January 28, 2025, when Ms. Hardcastle allegedly directed disparaging remarks towards Frank Anodompreh in relation to his parliamentary duties. So Ms. Hardcastle reportedly described Anodompreh's conduct ahead of Dr. Omane Boama's vetting as silly. The matter was subsequently raised on the floor of Parliament by Anodompreh, prompting a moment of bipartisan unity by members from both sides of the House. Ms. Hardcastle's actions were described as a blatant display of disrespect towards the legislature. In a January 29 statement, the Minority Caucus referred the landmark case of Katie Hammond versus William Ampim Dako, which established that no individual, regardless of status, has the authority to verbally or physically assault a member of Parliament for their actions within the scope of their duties. Now, the caucus emphasized that Parliament's historical commitment to protecting its members' privileges and dignity must not waver. So the Minority Caucus outlines specific actions they believe are necessary to uphold the sanctity of Parliament and deter future misconduct. The caucus is demanding that appropriate actions or sanctions under its standing orders, including fines, imprisonment, restriction from Parliament, parliamentary precincts, and mandatory public apology will be applied with appropriate severity to reflect the gravity of the offense. So they've already told the Parliament the specific. Of course, you're a member of the Minority Caucus. You've told Parliament specific things that you want done to MFR Hardcastle. It means anything short of that would mean it's an egregious injustice, to borrow their own words. Share with us a bit more on why you've taken this MFR Hardcastle thing so passionately and seriously. I mean, what exactly is the issue here?
Well, as long as it affects the dignity of members of parliament and by extension parliament as a whole, I think that as members of parliament we should be interested. We are actors of parliament and stakeholders of parliament. And there was some amount of unanimity that was shown on the floor of parliament when Honorable Nodompre finally raised the matter on the floor. In fact, the speaker himself had not even seen the video, but of course, listening to both sides, he realized that there was an issue. Both sides of the House indicated that what happened was uncalled for, and because she is a lady, of course, I always want to treat ladies with kids' gloves. I would not go a certain tangent. But of course, just on the floor of Parliament, it was clear that what was said was wrong. It was uncalled for. It was not something that was out of any provocation whatsoever. It could have been managed at that level, and some amount of respect could have been shown each other. We being members of the political class, we have every duty under the sun to make sure that we portray some amount of respectability around our offices, some amount of dignity with the office that we hold, so that people will also respect members of parliament, will also respect the political class. I think it is only in Ghana that you find members of the political class chiding each other, disgracing each other, labeling each other thieves, and whatever. It is only in Ghana that even around Africa, you hardly see these things. The political class is becoming unbecoming. It's becoming unbecoming because the way we go about our politics is not the way we should be going about the politics. I think that myself and Adam should come around this table every day to come and debate ideas as to how we can help young men and young women in this country. To debate ideas as to how we can help our country. It shouldn't be about trading insult, trading things that as it were, affect the dignity of our persons, and that is what is happening, at least in recent years. And I don't think that these things should be countenanced. Going forward, we should find a way, and we should also know that this is the only profession that we have, or this is the only work we have. I say so because if you've decided to be a politician, if you've decided to be a leader, if you've decided to serve Ghana, you should be able to do so in a dignified manner. You should appear, you should be seen to be that leader that you are supposed to be. You should be seen to be that honorable that you are called. So I think that statement was uncalled for. The minority feels that it's an opportunity that we can seize to make sure that we can sanctify the political atmosphere, so that people, even on social media today, post something on social media, you will see insults under it, where people even insult you to the extent that, well, I don't want to use some of them, but the insults are too many, and I think that people should learn this. If you come to Parliament, myself and Adam or any other NDC member, you will see us probably even eating, taking coffee together, doing a lot of things together. So why is it that you're a follower on social media or whatsoever, and you think that insulting the political class is the only way that you can use for your voice to be heard? That cannot be the way. And I think that the minority has taken a very good step, a step whereby we can use that as an opportunity. And with the greatest of respect to what was the name? Hardcastle. With the greatest of respect to her, it is not necessarily directed at her, but of course to make sure that we find an opportunity to be able to sanctify our political atmosphere. It is within our right. It is within our mandate as actors and stakeholders of the political atmosphere to make sure that we do things that will protect the image of Parliament. We do things that will protect the image of the political class, so that we can lead and lead well for the people of Ghana. But what I'm saying, that should not be the way for us to go as a people.
I see.
even well, you see, before Adam comes in, even in our culture, a woman insulting a man is something that is really, really uncalled for.
The gender activists are not happy with these statements.
But you see, but that's the truth. But you see, that has been the situation in our culture. A woman living with the wife insulting the husband. A woman living with the husband insulting the husband.
But these days,
that is not. But these days,
I have a different view.
On
what he just said.
That culturally, a woman is not expected to insult the husband.
If it is wrong for a woman to insult a man,
it is equally wrong.
It is equally wrong for a man to insult
to
a
abuse a woman.
I think that respect must be reciprocal.
Yeah.
Indeed, I watched the video.
But did I say that here? That the man can insult a woman?
No. But I'm saying that, I'm explaining that the anger, I mean, the way you put it, it sounds, I mean,
your point is a two-way street.
Yes.
It's a two-way street.
We must all learn to have mutual respect for each other.
One another,
whether you are a member of parliament, whoever you are, we should have that mutual respect. And so when I watched the video, my first comment was that what happened, that sin, is regrettable and is avoidable. I know lawyer MFA Hardcastle quite well. I know her. And she is a very affable, very warm person, and one lively person that her friends, and because I know her friends, I can tell you her friends call her the life of the party. And so that is the kind of person she is, very lovely and very lively person. And so I was wondering what could have provoked her to the extent that she would want to engage in any public confrontation or something like that with a member of parliament. Then a few hours or minutes later, I was in the chamber when the Honorable Anodompe, my senior, made a statement on the floor and lodged a complaint. And in his statement, he said that after the incident, MFA approached him and apologized, even though he qualified the apology in a certain way. The point is that he said he apologized. I agree that the institution of parliament must be respected and the dignity of parliament must be protected at all times. But my problem with the minority statement is that if we, all of us, agree that let's protect the image, let's protect the dignity of parliament, that rule must be applicable to all. What did the minority do when the Honorable Sam George, a member of parliament, was slapped by vigilante forces that are pro-MPP? You see, does that not mean? No, I'm not justifying. No. Listen, I'm not. What I'm saying is that what is wrong, and we must call a spade a spade. Let us not be doing this pick and choose where when we feel that it favors us, then we raise the argument about protecting the dignity of parliament and what have you. Again, the regional chairman of the NPP in Ashanti region, I have several videos and audios of Honorable Wontumi describing members of parliament on the NDC side with words that I can't repeat on your platform. We should collectively say that we are protecting the dignity of parliament. And so if Wontumi does it and it is wrong, if MFA does it, it is wrong. If whoever is responsible or whoever is found guilty or culpable, we should all come together and say, this is what we are condemning. But where a particular action is picked and we want to make it look as though this is the first time something is happening like this, and we are not. No, I'm making a point, Vincent, and we are not making reference to the countless occasions where members, and I have seen, look, I've worked with the Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa before. Some of your communicators, including some of your executives, Wontumi and co, they sit on radio, also Bemba, sat on national television. the kind of things he said about some of our MPs, let's agree that it is wrong. But I know, like Honorable Agoja said on the floor of the House, MFR rendered an apology, which the Honorable Anodonpe himself has said. I just want to plead with everybody, especially the minority, that this issue, since he has apologized to Honorable Anodonpe, the issue should end there. Let us take it out. And then now, we must all begin to set that standard, the ethical standard, that this is what it is about, protecting the dignity of Parliament. And when that happens, we shouldn't be doing choose and pick. Look, our current vice president, she is one of the most abused women in the history of Ghanaian politics. If I show you some of the things that MPP members have said about her and all that, then today this happens and we are talking about culture, a woman cannot be speaking to a man that way and all that. These comments like that gives right to some men to abuse, verbally abuse women, and feel that when you provoke a woman or abuse a woman, the perception that being ladylike demands that, excuse me to say, you must be timid or something. But that is not it. People must be encouraged to stand up for themselves in a respectful way anyway. But I think that it is important for us not to be doing choosing and picking what favors us in some of these things. My point is that if the minority today, of which my brother Vincent is a member, believe that an attack on MPs is an attack on Parliament, they should have been interested in getting the gentleman who slapped Sam George, the Honorable Sam George, also punished. Because if you slap a member of Parliament, it means you have slapped the entire Parliament.
All right.
If an insult to a member of Parliament is an insult to the entire House, it means that slapping or attacking a member of Parliament should be deemed as attacking the entire House. Let us, let us not make it look like we only want to apply the rules when it favors us. So the rules must be universally applicable to all.
So you are coming from the angle of he who calls for equity.
You see, I tell people, when I have a different way of saying it, that he who calls for equity, if you cannot come with clean hands, you must have sanitizer in your pocket.
Let me, Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, Madam Rebecca Akufo-Addo, wife of former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, used some unprintable words on the Speaker of Parliament when the then Deputy Majority Leader, who has called her to order. Her comments were in Parliament during the nation address by former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Alhaji Haruna from Pig Farm says, good morning, my brother. Well, the question we should be asking ourselves is that, was the vetting committee the right forum to drag Oliver Baka to answer questions based on comments he has made against members of the vetting committee? In my opinion, he should have been referred to the Privileges Committee and to allow the vetting process to go on. It is clear the micro-minority group are not out there to disrupt business of this government, and it's a fact. I'll call on the majority to sit up because the misbehavior of Afenyo Maki and the minority is becoming one too many. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm, thank you very much for that message. And I'll end with this final one before we go to Parliament, because Parliament, I think, what's the name? Rashid Pelpo, who is the Minister for Employment, is supposed to appear before the committee at 8, and I'm sure Motal at 9, and then somebody else at. And then the final person, Sam Kujeto Ablakwa.
No, I don't think Sam Kujeto Ablakwa is doing today.
Okay.
But the advertisement I have seen.
Okay. He's not appearing before the committee today.
I have seen the advertisement on my platform. My leader tells me that he's not good.
Oh, Ablakwa is not. Okay. All right. Good morning. My name is Eben from Kwabinya.
I think what happened was that because yesterday there was no sitting, some of the people who have been taken yesterday have been brought to today. And
I've been added to the list.
Today's list. Publish the list and then let's see. But Honorable Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa is ready any day. Today, Thursday, Friday.
Even from
he will go through easily.
So sorry, Abraham from Kwabena says, Mr. Chair of the Appointment Committee, be firm in your decision and let Honorable Afenyo Marking your decision and let Honorable Afenyo Marking know that you are the chair, not him. Oh, sorry about this. Sorry, just a minute. There's a reason why you are the first deputy speaker. So do the needful. The grassroots are not happy at all, and I know you can do better. So let's see you being firm. And it says, greetings to Honorable Elik Plim Akurugu, who is MP for Domi Kwabena, and Dr. Tony Obi, who is a money expert. Anyway, Vincent, I want to say a big thanks to you for joining us today, Thursday, for another edition of Good Morning Ghana. We're so grateful that you made time. And then also Edem Agbana, who's the MP for K2 South. Of course, Vincent is MP for, K2 North. And then Vincent Ekwasefo is the MP for Old Tafo and former Deputy Local Government Minister. Edem, thank you very much for your time. And it was wonderful having the two of you here.
I'm hoping to
and
hear his name as a deputy minister. He
actually
deserves it.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
I
mean, I don't think he's somebody whose name, when it comes up, people will be surprised at all. Nobody will be surprised. It looks like a lot of people are waiting with bated breath to see where, Edem is going to go.
He'll be a board chairman.
Well, we'll be here with you. Anyway, so thanks for joining us. And I'm sure, yes, time will tell. I'm sure that from here we'll be crossing over to Parliament. We don't know who is being vetted now. I don't know. But whatever it is, stay with Metro TV. This is the place to be. Metro TV. My name is Aldumo. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Boss Annie apparently has stopped me from going off air until I do something. Hassan Ayariga. But Annie, please tell me the full name of his wife. So Hassan Ayariga's wife is celebrating. Oh, Mrs. Ayariga. Okay, simply put, Mrs. Ayariga. She's celebrating her birthday today, and we want to wish her a happy birthday. Very beautiful woman, Mrs. Ayariga. She's celebrating her birthday today. We wish her all the best. And for here, from Annie, myself, and the management of Metro TV, we want to wish her, Charlie, potential first lady. Well, she is very, very, very pretty. That's Mr. Hassan Ayariga of APC, founder. And it looks like he's going to be he's a de facto presidential candidate too. You'll be presidential candidate, sir, to the Kingdom Cup. That's his wife. She's celebrating her birthday. So I want to wish her a happy birthday. Now, speaking about happy birthday, there was actually another one. It nearly escaped me. And it's a very good friend of mine as well. Kwame Jumo, he works with Class FM. He says, happy birthday to the love of my life, Mrs. Dorcas Jumo Ajimai. She's the Assistant Superintendent of Immigration, Kotoka International Airport. Have a good one, baby. Hey, Asamo. So, Kwame Jumo, your wife is celebrating her birthday today. You're wishing her a happy birthday. She's the love of your life. So she's Dorcas Jumo Ajimai, Assistant Superintendent of Immigration, Kotoka International Airport. Happy birthday once again. So now I've been given the permission. Permission has now been granted for us to say bye-bye. Thanks for watching Good Morning Ghana. Bye-bye.
Were you here from the very beginning?
My understanding is that...
Were you here from the very beginning?
No, I've been here since morning.
Please, you've been here since morning?
I've been here since morning. I've been here from the very...
Good business means seeing the possibilities,